Hey guys, it's Loom. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create my triplex bracelet. This takes 176 bands total. The breakdown of that is 74 of the border or light blue color here, 68 of the very dark color here going across, and then 34 of the color running up the center in the middle. I do recommend limited edition bands if you have them because it holds its shape a lot better and it's a lot easier to loop. Opaque will work, but if you have a thicker, like less stretchy band, I would use those. If it stretches too much, it doesn't hold its shape very well. I also wouldn't recommend using a like jelly band or a Sweets Collection band that's really sticky. They twist a lot and it's very hard to loop. Here's another version of the limited edition, just a different color combination. And then here's another opaque. So this one came out good. The purple's nice and strong and thick. But again, I would definitely take that into consideration when choosing your colors because some are a little better quality than others. So that's what you need. Go ahead and get your supplies together and let's get started. To get started, you will want to have your loom aligned like so. The arrow is facing away from you, and you will want to have 3 of them total, one set up in front of the other. I have mine disconnected right now, but just so you can see, you'll have your blue base, your loom aligned, and then you will just connect it like that, and then push down on it. I'm going to keep it undone for now so I can move my loom around, but make sure you have 3 set up one in front of the other, and I use these as well throughout just to keep things nice and tight. So the first thing we're going to do is grab whatever color you're using for the dark blue here. It kind of looks black, but it's a really dark blue. I'm going to use gold, and you're going to need 2 of them. If you want this color pattern with 2 different colors here where my pink is, you would do that now. So you would be holding 2 different colors if you want that pattern. So we're going to come up here and start on this second row. And we're going to lay a triple infinity. So you know how we normally lay a figure 8? Like that. We're going to need to do that, but also connecting to this pin. So I'll show you how to do it in one swooping motion. It is tricky, I'm not going to lie. This is how I do it. I lay it down from the top, go in front, twist it back, and then pull it forward. It's a little tricky. I'm going to show you how I do it another way in case you can't do it in one motion. I put it on and then I just lay a figure 8 like that. Then you can grab your hook, go down in here, pull it out a little bit, come behind the last pin and then roll it forward. You'll get the same result. You just want to make sure that the part that's coming behind this pin is the top part. See how there's this on the bottom? This part needs to be on top. So one other way I know how to show you to make it a little easier is laying it on the pin, skipping this middle one, go in front of it, connect it to the end so it's like that. Push it down a little bit and then you can use your hook to pull the front bands behind it. Now this part I do find a little difficult because sometimes it gets caught on these corners, but you might find it easier, so I wanted to show you. So that is our goal right now. We are going to do that all the way up the loom. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Another thing I want to point out, to get a nice, neat, clean looking bracelet, you want the minimalist amount of twisting possible. So if you look up here, you can see that this, it's actually not really twisted there, but sometimes they twist amongst each other since they're doubled. So you'll see as I lay them, I'm constantly playing with them. I try to get them to be as straight as possible to keep the bracelet looking nice. So pay attention to that as well. I'd like to put my finger here as I do this first twist so it doesn't catch on that corner. That could be a little tip for you as well. And I'll tell you, after doing this over and over, your fingertips will start to bother you. So I'm noticing this one here is actually a little twisted. So I'm going to fix that right now. Okay. Yeah, so you want them, I'm very picky. You may not care, but I like everything to be straight and not twisted. Okay, so I'm going to continue laying my triple infinity sign. As you can see, I did reconnect my other one since I'm about to be ready for my second loom. So I did reconnect. I zoomed out a little bit just so it's not so zoomed in, but I'm just going to continue laying my bands here. This isn't the funnest part. Your fingers do start to take a little beating. I've made this bracelet like 5 times in the past 2 days, so my fingertips are like raw. But it's worth the pain. So just an FYI, I lay mine, I go into the 34th pin. Yes, I lay it on to the 34th pin. I don't go all the way down to the end. That gets me a 7-inch bracelet. I think it's actually even like 7 1/4. So if I did it to the end, it would be way too big. So stop at the 34th pin. I'm going to continue laying mine, and I will be right back when I reach the 34th pin. Okay, so I have all of mine laid, and I just want to clarify, when I say to go to the 34th pin, I'm starting from the 2nd row. So just make sure you're only laying 34 of these, not 35. So there will be 4 empty pins at the end of your loom if you're using 3 of them. Once you've done that, go ahead and push them down some. And now we're going to be laying bands and looping them all the way up. So we do one at a time and alternate. So we're going to get the border color here, and whatever color you're using for the center. You can use the same color like I did on the white one here. This one I used 2 different ones, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to use green for my outside border, and then I'm going to use this tan color for the center. So whatever color you're using for the border, grab that now and lay one on the center for when we close it up. We're going to lay one out to the left and one out to the right. Grab that same border color, and we're going to lay it straight up and straight up on the left, and the same for the middle. So it will look like that. So now we have to loop over the infinity sign that we did. And I do it very carefully. So, I mean, you can do it as you wish. I'm very careful about it because, again, I like to keep my bands very straight, and I find that this way works. So I keep my hook like this. I come from behind on the right side. I grab it, and I bring my wrist up and over. I slide my hook to the left, pull it forward, and then back so that I'm not twisting those bands up, because I want these to be straight when I flip this one over, I want everything to stay straight. So I come on the left, grab it from below, pull it up and over without twisting my hook, and then I release. Now that just crossed. It happens. No matter how careful I am, it happens sometimes. But I'm going to fix it right now. I'm going to grab the back one and put it in front. And see how that works? So I corrected it. So now I grab the hook. I come in here into that little opening. And I grab the front ones. And I pull them towards myself and over. And then I release my hook gently. And by doing it carefully like that, it keeps everything aligned, straight, and not twisted. And that's how you get a very neat, clean looking bracelet. If you're not careful there, it can look really messy. So that part was simple. It gets a little trickier as we move forward because we are going to be laying the bands, stretching up 2 pins now and not just 1. That was just how we started. So again, we're going to grab our border colors. We're still going to start on the first pin, but you're going to stretch it up 2 instead of just the 1. Left side, stretch it up 2. It should look like this from the side. And then we're going to do the same for the center one. Start on the first one, stretch it up, and connect to that second one. So we're going to do the same process of looping the infinity over. I come from behind. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so I come from behind, pull it up and over without twisting my hook, and I release it. Come on the left side, I do the same thing, pull it up and over, release it. It's straight, so I don't have to mess with it. Come in here to this little space, I pull it up and towards myself, and then I kind of push my hook down to be able to pull it out and release it. Push that down. Grab your border again. And this is where I find that it can be tricky because you're used to just laying it across 1 pin. We're laying it across 2, so it can get a little confusing. So a pointer, the top of it should always be connecting to the next infinity that we need to loop over. So if you want to actually start from up there, count 2 pins back, 1, 2, and then connect it. Here's the next one we need to loop. Put it on there. 1, 2, and that's the one you need to put the band on. I don't know if that's more confusing, but that's one way that you can consider it. And then the middle. So we're going to loop that over. Push it down. After each time, I recommend pushing it down. Now, I don't do it the way that I showed you the last one, like with the tip from up there. I always start from down here. So another way that you can look at it, if that other way was tricky, you can see that the top of the border band is here. So you always attach the new one back from there. So that's where my last border band was. I'm going to go back 1 and attach it there, and then stretch it up to wherever your next infinity sign is. That's probably an easier way, to be honest. There's my last one. I'm going to back up 1, attach it, and stretch it up to where my next infinity is. Don't forget to add your middle. And this one's more simple because you just laid these 2, so you just line it up with the one you just laid. Now you can turn your loom this way, and you can lay and loop it like this if you'd prefer. I just find it a little harder to keep my infinity band straight, but you can do it like that if it's easier to work forward instead of backwards. like so. And then when you would go to lay them again, it would be easier because you come up to the infinity. That's where you would start attaching it, and then just go back 1, 2, and let go. You do not count the pin that you're putting it on. That's the one you're putting it on. I'm counting 1, 2 from the one that we're on. So we're here, count back 1, 2, and release. And then you're going to loop it over, and loop it over. Actually, I find that that's easier. So hopefully that's easier for you guys as well. I've been doing it the other way the entire time. Excuse me. So that's what we're going to do. I feel like with this one, it's more of a visual learning versus explaining. You kind of just need to see what I'm doing. When you use all the same color here, it's a little quicker because you can just grab all 3, lay them. But I like to mix it up, use different colors, you know. Whoop. So as of right now, I am going to go ahead and continue getting all of my border and middle laid and looped up. And then I will come back and show you what we're going to do next. Okay, so I have reached the end of mine. This is the row that my last infinity was on. I already looped it up, and this is what it looks like right now. It just looks open. There's nothing closing it off. So after you looped your last infinity over, you're going to need 2 more border bands, which was already included in the count. And we're going to lay a triangle on the left and on the right. So if we lay the right one first, come to the middle, stretch it to the right, and then you're going to go up 1 like that. You're going to do the same to the left side. You're going to lay it on the center, bring it to the left, stretch up 1 like that. So it makes a sideways triangle. Now we're going to need to put our cap band on. And I used the same color as my border. Just wrap that around twice. We're going to go down into the cap band and loop the triangle out to the left and out to the right. So push back your cap band, grab the top one. Be careful here that you don't pull off the cap band because it will want to come off. Bring that to the left. And then you bring the right one back to itself, which will be to the right. From here, it's actually very simple. Everything's getting looped just straight up back to itself. The middle goes straight up, the left goes straight up, and the right goes straight up. I do the middle first. I find it easier instead of going 1, 2, 3, row by row. I just do the entire middle all at once. And the first, actually no, I believe it's the second one. It's a little tight, but then the rest it's easy. So in the first one, just move the cap band, grab the bottom. You're going to bring that forward. And this one, like I just said, is the tightest one, I think because of the cap band. So you can use your finger to hold it back a little. You can clearly see the one band that's in that pin. You're just going to pull it forward to the one in front. That's what we're going to do all the way up. So you're now going to go in that pin, grab the only band on there and pull it forward. So we're just doing a single chain all the way up. We basically did all the hard part when we were laying them. And now everything is just a single chain straight up. Do you guys prefer loom designs, hook designs, growing designs? I'm very curious of your thoughts on that. If you could leave me a comment below what you prefer. I was a very big fan of the growing designs. I still am actually a very big fan of them. I just kind of went away from them back when Justin's Toys was doing the... He made like not an algorithm, but he came up with the... Not even sure what it's called, but he had like a formula to be for everyone to be able to make bracelets using like the 2 pins. So I tried to like steer away from it. It was very popular and there were so many designs coming out. I really couldn't keep up with what was already made. But I really do like them, and I'd like to try to start coming up with some new ones. Even if it's not 2 pins, you know, multiple pins. But I'm just curious. Do you guys like those? Do you prefer those? Do you prefer looms? What do you like? Let me know. I'm on the last one. I just looped that forward. I'm going to come down and we're going to do the same thing to both borders. So we already looped these out. We're going to go in this bottom pin here. Just make sure on this first one, because there is a couple layers here, make sure you're grabbing that bottom one. And loop it forward. That one is a little loose. This one's going to be a little loose too, because there's nothing really on top holding it in. So just be careful with that one. From there, we'll go in here. Push everything that's in the way on top back so that you can grab the bottom band that's on that opening. You can see it down in there. There's a little opening right there. You need to move it, grab that, and loop it forward. So I'm going to go ahead and get the right side looped up to the top, and I'll be right back. Okay, so when you do reach the top like I have, I already looped the last one up to the top corner. You're just going to grab that one in the top pin and bring it into the center. Like that. So now we are going to come to the left side, and we're going to do the same thing. Your loom may be buckling up like mine. That's why I recommend using as many of those blue pieces. Mine does that too, so you just want to be careful. Take your time, push down if you feel like anything's becoming loose. I could rock mine right now because it's so bowed in, but again, that's normal for this design. I'm going to loop up the left side. Remember on the first one, just be careful. Make sure you are getting that very bottom one. It's the loosest one, so be careful. Get it on there quickly. And then just like the middle, this is the tightest one getting in there. So just push everything back and grab the bottom and bring forward. So we're going to do that all the way up as well. If you zoom past me and get this looped up before seeing the end of the video, just make sure that you do use your hook to remove this bracelet. You don't want to go ripping it off. This bracelet is very important. It's important that you use your hook and not pull it. I say it a lot, but for this particular one, it's very important. So I'm going to get my left looped up, and I'll meet you here when I reach the top. Okay, so once again, I'm at the top. So the top left corner, we're just going to bring into the center. Like that. And to close it, we are going to grab... Oh, I zoomed out too much. We are going to grab the band that we laid there for our closure. In order to do that, hold it with one hand and then push everything out of the way. It's tight. You're going to grab the only bottom band that's on there, which will be the other end of the band that we laid. Bring them together, and that's what we are going to put our C-clip on. And I come to the beginning, and I slowly start releasing like this. I actually go left, middle, right. And as you can see, I use my pointer finger for some reason to kind of hold it down a little and let it spring back. Do that all the way up, and I will show you my finished bracelet when I take it off. Okay, so I got mine all off the loom and connected, and I actually lost a band because it snapped, and I had to hurry up and try to save it. But I just want to show you guys what I do when I do take it off. I kind of pull it left to right slightly, and I grab like the back, this part here. I use my fingers, and I kind of pull it out to the left and the right while using my thumbs to push in the center slightly. And I just do that all the way up, and it kind of tightens things up, as you can see. So I'm kind of rolling this part out to the side while pushing my thumb into the center. And it just tightens that up a little bit, as you can see here. So there you have my triplex bracelet. I hope you guys like this design. It's been a long time that I've been wanting to get this out to you guys. If you do make it, don't forget you can tag me on Loves to Loom on Instagram. I'd love to see your renditions of this. If you like it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up below. I would appreciate that as well. I have some new designs coming, so keep an eye out. And I will see you all in my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.